Stakeholders in the mining sector on Thursday converged on Abuja for a one-day consultative meeting on the review of the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development guidelines for producing community development agreements. As Clearview's Gloria Atta now reports, the meeting is geared towards developing new strategies that would successfully transform the sector and redefine existing relationships between mining companies and their host communities.
A Community Development Agreement (CDA) is any negotiated agreement between an extractive industry or company and the community stipulating how that community accesses development initiatives undertaken to be provided by the extractive company. In Nigeria, the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development, the federal government's leading organization in charge of all mineral deposits in the country, through the Nigerian Mineral and Mining Act 2007, introduced a practice mandating community agreements between mining sector operators and their host communities, and subsequently drafted a guideline for companies and host communities in 2014 so as to ensure the steady growth and development of the sector. Despite these guidelines, the sector continues to battle with a number of challenges, such as non-compliance by mining companies, overbearing attitude and greed by some traditional rulers and community members, and other pockets of disagreements. To this end, stakeholders in the mining sector have converged on Abuja for this one-day consultative meeting on the review of the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development guidelines for producing community development agreements. Speaking at the event, the Executive Director, African Center for Leadership, Strategy and Development, Monday Osasa, said the meeting is aimed at reviewing the existing guidelines and drafting out new ones that best address current realities.
Yes, Nigeria already have a CDA guideline, but we felt that there is need for a review because there are a lot of gaps on the current guidelines that we have. So what CDAs did was to do a research on the efficacy of CDA arrangements in Nigeria. And we discovered that there were gaps. And that gaps that we spotted made us to enter into more like a partnership with the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development to jointly review the guideline. And we are here today to validate what has been done by stakeholders. This meeting is going to be effective because we are not just reviewing the guideline. After the review, we are going to print the guideline into a booklet. So for CDAs to support government to print that document shows the willingness of government to really take things forward and not do things the way it has been doing. So we are going to print that document, and that document is going to guide preparation of CDAs in all communities that are mineral bearing in Nigeria.
Also speaking at the event, Dr. Okono Vivian, the Director, Mines and Environmental Compliance Department, Ministry of Mines and Steel Development, said the ministry remains unrelenting in its efforts to ensuring optimal compliance of the Mining Act and guidelines by all stakeholders involved.
After the draft deliberations, first of all, I'll present the draft revised CDA guideline. Then thereafter, we collect inputs from the relevant stakeholders. Then we'll have a timeline to be able to pull all of these things together, and thereafter, we'll now submit to the management for their approvals.
We are excited to see that a conversation is happening here that will continue this discourse around centering the voices of communities and making sure that the resource redistribution process gets to the people on the ground, giving all of the statistics around the levels of poverty and exclusion in this country.
The meeting also featured interactive sessions by stakeholders present at the event. Gloria Atta reporting for Clearview News.